Recognize Mr. Gonzalez for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you for holding this important hearing. The beauty of tech, in my opinion, or one of the beauties of tech, is that we know for sure, from experience and data suggests us, that diverse viewpoints and diverse experiences help us build better technology. I ran a technology company, and it was clear the more diverse we were, and we did a great job on this, the better our products were, the easier it was for us to serve our customers. And so I think the fact that this has become a national imperative in many senses is fantastic. My first question will go to my friend Dr. Moore. There's been a lot of crazy talk on who the real OSU is here. I mean, we just, would you agree that the real OSU is Ohio State?
Affirmative.
Thank you. Now that we've got that out of the way. You know, and frankly, I want to commend you. I am so proud of you and the university as I was reading your testimony and listening to you today to know that Ohio State is working so hard on this and you're getting it right. I couldn't possibly be happier sitting in this chair. So I just want to thank you and everybody at the university for the work that you're doing. I think the anecdotes that you shared are really powerful because we're talking about two totally different backgrounds, but ultimately we're kind of driving towards the same goal, and you have different programs, which makes perfect sense. I want to read a part of your testimony. You mentioned we found that family influence and encouragement, positive K-12 academic experiences, their own interests and aspirations in STEM, as well as their academic experiences in colleges with peers, were all crucial impacting factors in African-American male achievement. It strikes me, and I've heard this echoed before, it strikes me that the family influence part is maybe the hardest at the university level to kind of, I guess, encourage. I guess I'd ask the question to you and to anybody, how can we do a better job, and not just in the African-American community, but broadly, of making sure that our parents and kind of local leaders are promoting STEM as well?
Well, what we do through our Young Scholars Program, we recognize not only you educating the child, you're educating the family as well. In the state of Ohio, we survey all 12th graders across race, gender, urbanicity, etc. And when you ask what individual has been most influential in your educational/career aspirations, every year it's families.
Yep.
So families are influencing your child, whether they went to college or whether they didn't go to college. And so it's very important that we recognize the importance of families. And even when they have a college education, what we do, what we're very proud of, we have the only center that focuses on African-American males in the United States. And I'm here to say, I'm proudly that when I first started, we only had about 130 African-American males who had a cumulative 3.0 or better. And today we had 692 out of 1,291, nearly 50% of our African-American males on our campus, athletes or non-athletes, have a cumulative 3.0 or better. And what we found is there are certain things that play out in our school systems. I'm not trying to be sexist or any of that kind of, that plays out for different groups, just like we hear my colleagues talk about women, but minority males have similar experiences that sometimes is suppressed and that impacts their educational outcomes.
Yep. Thank you. And then shifting to Dr. Malcolm, so a 2018 recent report published by National Academy of Science, Engineering, and Medicine mentions that 50% of women faculty and staff at academic institutions report having been harassed. We talked about this yesterday. You all weren't here, but this was a topic of conversation yesterday in this hearing. And the simple question I've asked now for the fourth time, and I think we're getting close to being able to produce something, is how can we do better? What can we possibly do to make sure that we're cutting those instances down, and how can we foster an environment that is more conducive to women? And I mean, we should just eradicate this from STEM if we could, right? So I'll open up to you.
I think that right now what we're seeing is trying to operate on multiple tracks. Trying to look at the issue of preventing harassment, not just dealing with it once it's
right
there. How do we change the culture that is within institutions with regard to graduate students and postdocs, so that when they come through the system, that they understand that this is not a good thing in terms of supporting the environment for STEM. And the professional societies have stepped up in terms of saying that in terms of our fields, that we do not think that harassment has any place within our fields. For the disciplines themselves to say that this is not to be tolerated is a major point of movement, and we are very pleased